just observe, the presentation notes. So, also look for the repetitions. You'll see some repetitions. And then also look for what I say when I'm talking to, can I call you Christoph?
Yeah.
So when I talk to Christoph, just watch what I say, and we'll talk a little bit about after that. And let's just say, Christoph, you're a new person, you're not a nurse or anything, but you work in the hospital. Let's just say you're going to be, bringing the trays into the rooms and things like that, delivering food or something.
But that's not my first hand washing ever.
It's okay, no, that's fine. All right, so here we go, let's start. So hi, Christoph, I'm Pat, I'm going to be your supervisor today for the next thing. I understand you're new here at the hospital?
Definitely.
How's it going? You're making some friends and everybody,
yeah.
everybody treating you okay?
Yeah, everybody's very nice.
Okay, good. All right, well, if anybody gives you a hard time, you just let me know, and I will straighten it out.
We'll do so much local days.
Good, I want you to have a good experience here. So today I'm going to show you how to wash your hands. You've washed your hands before, right? Your mom taught you how to wash your hands. Okay, all right. But have you ever done any special techniques of washing your hands? Like you see in the movies with the surgeon?
I like to dry between my fingers too, not just around it.
Good. Okay, that's good. All right. Okay. All right. So, Christoph, let me just point out, in the hospital, a lot of people come into the hospital with germs, right? And, those germs are contagious. And, we don't want to pass the germs from one patient on to another, but even more importantly, we don't want you to catch those germs either, right?
God forbid.
Yeah, so to protect yourself, the best way to protect the patient and yourself is to wash your hands, and to wash them properly. Okay?
Let's do it.
All right, so then you won't get sick. All right, you stay here. All right, so I'm going to show you the job, okay, and I want you to observe carefully. Now, this job has 4 important steps. 4 important steps. I need this tape, so just scoot a little bit towards me. Come a little bit towards me. I just need this tape. Okay, so the first important step is to apply the gel. Apply the gel. The second important step is to rub hands. Rub hands. That's the second important step, rub hands. The third important step is to run fingers. Run fingers. Okay, that's the third important step, run fingers. And the fourth important step is to dry. Okay, that's all there is to it.
Manageable.
Okay. Let me show you again. Now this time I'm going to give you some key points for each of those steps. Okay. So remember, the first important step is to apply gel. The key point here is covering all surfaces. So enough to cover all surfaces. So enough to cover all surfaces. Okay, the second important step is to rub hands. Remember, there's 2 key points here. One, the first key point is palm to palm, and the second key point is palm to backs. So palm to palm, palm to backs.
Yes.
2 key points. Now, the third important step was to run fingers. Here there are 4 key points. First key point, thumbs. Thumbs. That's the first key point. Second key point, interlocking. Interlocking. That's the second key point, interlocking. The third key point, backs of fingers to palms. Backs of fingers to palms. And the fourth key point, fingertips to palms. Fingertips to palms. Okay? Thumbs, interlocking, backs of fingers to palms, tips of fingers to palms. And the fourth important step is to let dry. The key point here is completely. Completely. You getting it?
Yes.
Let me do it one more time. Now this time I'm going to give you the reasons for the key points, why we do it that way. Okay, so the first important step was to apply gel. Now here, remember the key point was covering all surfaces. And the reason for that is, if we don't have enough gel, you might miss some parts of your hand, and the germs will live there. Okay, so enough to cover all surfaces. That's why we do that, because you don't want to miss any parts. The second important step was to rub hands. Remember the key point, 2 key points. Palm to palm, and that's so that we get all the surfaces, and then palm to backs. Palm to backs, so that we cover all, the reason is we want to cover all the surfaces. Now, third important step was to run fingers. Remember there were 4 key points. The reason is, you know, the thumb is the most active part of your hand. That's the part you're using the most. So there are germs there. Okay. The second important step is interlocking. Interlocking. The reason for that is that way we can clean the insides of your fingers. So you're not just drawing them, you're cleaning them. Right? Okay. So we clean the insides of your fingers like that. See?
Yeah.
Now the third key point is backs of fingers to palms. And the reason is their germs will catch in these little lines in your knuckles. The germs will hide in there. Yes. The germs will hide in there. So you want to rub your backs of fingers to palms. And then finally, the fourth key point was the tips of fingers to palms. And the reason is because you have germs underneath your fingernails. So you want to get those germs out of underneath your fingernails. Okay. And then finally, the fourth important step was let dry. Now here the key point is completely. And the reason is, you may not know this, but you know, if the germs only die when the alcohol drops. So if that alcohol is still wet, it means the germs are still alive. So if you do something when that alcohol is still wet, you still have germs that are alive in it. The germs die when the alcohol is dry. So you have to let it dry completely before you do anything. We're getting all that?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to let you try. So now I want you to do it. Now the first time, go ahead and do it. Now you don't have to say anything. Just go ahead and do it, and if you need some help, I'll help you out. Very good. You're not done yet. All right, Christoph, I want you to do it again for me. Now this time, I want you to tell me the important steps. Do it while telling me the important steps. How many important steps did we say there?
There are 4 with a number of subpoints. 2, 4.
Just give me, just tell me the important steps. What's the first thing you're doing?
You're applying gel.
Applying the gel. Okay, that's the first important step. What's the second important step?
Rub hands.
Rub hands. Good. And the third important step?
It's the fingers.
Run your fingers.
Run your fingers.
Run fingers.
And the last important step is
That's
dry.
Is to dry. Okay, so those are the important steps. Now I know your hand's getting a little dry. Do it for me again. Okay, now I want you to tell me those key points. Tell me what the key points are for
Key
each
point
step.
is
And what's the first important step?
apply gel.
Okay, what's the key point?
Enough to cover all surfaces you want to clean.
That's right. Good. Now what's the second important step?
Rub hands.
What are the key points?
Front and back.
Palm to palm.
Palm to palm.
And what are you doing now?
Back.
Palm to back.
Palm to back.
Let's say that again.
Palm to palm. And
Palm to back. Okay.
Both sides.
Okay. Good. Now what's the third important step?
Running finger, we start with the thumb.
Okay, that's the first key point. Thumbs. What's the second?
We
key point?
match the fingers.
Interlocking and mesh.
Interlocking.
Mesh fingers, that works. Interlocking.
We do the knuckles.
Or the backs of fingers to hands. So it's here and here and here. Backs of
And
fingers.
the fingertips.
To, where do you rub your fingertips?
On the palm.
On the palm.
Fingertips to palm
Good.
to get the germs on the finger.
Just, so we're gonna do thumbs, interlocking. What was the third one?
Knuckle to palm.
Backs of fingers,
Backs of finger to
palm,
palm.
and
Fingertips to
fingertips
palm.
to palm. Good. And then what's the fourth important step?
Dry.
This one here.
Completely.
Okay. You know what? I think you're really getting. I'm gonna ask you to do it one more time. Now this time I want you to tell me the reasons why for those key points. Now what was the first important step?
Well, he applies the gel.
Yes. Key point. That's the step. What's the key point?
If you don't have enough,
What's the key point?
key point is enough to cover all surfaces.
Good. And why?
If you don't have enough, some germs might survive.
That's right. You might miss parts.
Yes.
Right. What's the second important step?
Rubbing the hands.
What are the key points here? Two key points.
Key points, palm to palm
Good.
and palm to back.
Okay, why? Why do we do palm to palm and palm to back?
Again, so we don't miss any surface spots, so it comes completely covered.
Completely covered. Good. What's the third important step?
Running fingers. We use the thumb first.
Why
Because
do we use
it's the most active finger of them all.
What's the next to that?
We mesh the fingers.
You mesh the fingers, I like that. Okay, why?
Because those fingers are also active and you have germs in here between.
That's right. We can clean between fingers with this technique.
Yeah.
Makes it easy to clean between the fingers. What's the next key point?
Knuckle to palm, because here's a little folds capture germs in germs like this, and like this they all open up and can be de-germed.
One more key point.
So fingertips.
To, where do you clean the fingertips?
Fingertips to palm.
Okay. Why?
You get the stuff under the fingernails. More germs to kill.
I think you're understanding that. Okay, there's one more step. What's the fourth important step?
Drying completely.
Why completely?
Because germs would survive if it's not completely dry. It needs to be they only die if it's completely dry.
That's correct. Well, you know what, Christoph? I think you really got this, so I'm going to let you go on your own. Now, you go ahead and do the rest of your job for the rest of the day. Now, I'm going to come back and check on you, maybe throughout the day to make sure, if you have any questions or you're getting on, if you have any problems. So, sometimes I'm not here, you can't find me. I'm usually on the floor. But if you can't find me, John is my supervisor. Yeah, he knows all about Washington. So okay. And Crystal, I think the good workers in the hospital are the ones that have lots of questions. It tells me that they really care about the work. So if you have any questions at all, don't be afraid to ask. I know you're new. Don't be afraid, even if you think that's a dumb question, just go ahead and ask me. All right?
How often? Once per month?
Every time you go in.
Every time into the operating hospital room?
No, when you're going into the rooms to deliver the food, every time you go in, you wash. Every time you gel in, gel out. When you go in, you wash your hands. When you come out, you wash your hands.
That's a lot of work.
All right, I'll see you a little later. And good luck. Have a great day.